you can make enough money to build some of the bicycle paths. I mean, Christ, it's a bicycle path. How wide does it need to be? I mean, bicycle, you can go both ways, 5 feet. So we tax the tire and the spoke industry, leave the brakes alone. If they need to raise more revenue, they can throw the brakes in later. And then everybody who is born in the state of Illinois will have a foot tax. What the heck? They want a fat tax. We're going to have a foot tax in Illinois, and this $2.5 million is going to set this whole thing up. We're going to have a foot tax and a shoe that fits on a foot tax. And then they can build the pedestrian walkways because, unlike in Louisville where we've got an outgoing mayor whose biggest accomplishment was squeezing 2 lanes of traffic into a very small area so he could have a nice bike path on major thoroughfares. I think this is a good idea. I think this is the way it ought to work. Let's improve the pedestrian and bicycle paths in Illinois with $2.5 million by setting up this blue ribbon panel. That works. Okay. I digressed. Okay, we've got, oh Lord, we've got lots of people in Oregon and Washington and Idaho. Both Patty Murray's on there. Rick Larson. Even got a couple of Republicans on there. They want $307,000 to research small fruit. Wow. I think if they could reasonably take some of these doctors from the Vermont project that I want to give $8 million to and send them to a psychiatry school for tsetse flies, they could get more. Who can tell you more about a small fruit than a tsetse fly? And I'm going to tell you, I think I know so little about small fruit that I need about $307,000 worth of research on the thing. Don't you? I think everybody should. I think it's good. Okay, now you've got North Dakota. Oh, you got Patty Murray in there again. And you got some more from Washington in there. They want $350,000 for cool season legume research. Let me repeat that for you. $350,000 for cool season legume research, which would fund studies on what diseases harm and what improvements could help crops such as lentils and beans. I'm seeing a pattern here. And I really think that the whole thing goes back to if we could get this thing in Vermont going with the tree doctors. I think we have something here. What's going to improve lentils and beans and small fruit? Inquiring minds want to know, and I want to know, and while they're an outrageous earmark, then by golly, they need to be known. And the last one, oh dear, this was by Senator Tom Harkin, a Democrat from Iowa. He wants $1 million for AFL-CIO training programs. Oh me. Why didn't they spend some of that $10 billion that they were trying to beat down every Tea Party candidate and Republican and every conservative? Why didn't the AFL-CIO use some of that money for training instead of the politics? Wow. What a good question I ask. Well, I told you, the earmarks in this program bother me, and if you haven't bothered to look, there's about $8 billion worth of earmarks in this package. The last one I'm going to mention today, because I'm not sure I'm going to get to my Reagan's Corner, is how this Congress works. How the Senate works. How the people we elect work. Because this is bugging me. I mentioned it earlier with the House. But it bugs me a lot because I think this is nothing more than legalized bribery. This is nothing more than legalized bribery. Alright, let's set this thing up here. We'll be talking more about it tomorrow because this is something that I can't seem to get off my mind. The American people say, cut the earmarks, cut the unnecessary programs, fiscal responsibility. We're tired of being taxed. You got a separate bill, Dingy Harry, that you're screwing with on us for our taxes next year. It's getting hung up. Now you want to pass a bill that has $1.1 to $1.27 trillion in it. How can he pass this bill? Well, folks, there's only one way he can pass this bill. He's got to promise somebody something. What could that be? What could that be? I believe that's going to be earmarks, isn't it? I believe $8 million to hire and train young men to be tree doctors for Vermont is how he's going to pull that off. I think studying the tsetse fly is the way he does that. I think the political payback to his cronies is the way he does that. Then you got to say so. How in God's green earth does he get the so-called conservatives? He bribes them. And if there's any of you out there listening, doubt that, we hadn't been around long. We got more people listening in a day's time and hits on the website than I anticipated for this point in time. Hopefully we're doing a good job. Let us know. He bribes them. And if you know, Senator McConnell, you know who I am. Call me if you hear this, you think I'm crazy. But he's bribing them. Today is the day that we need to stop the bribery. Today is the day that we need to say, no more earmarks, put it in the bill, don't bribe anybody for votes. It should be a felony with a mandatory sentence of 10 years.